Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Item 4. Is this a bucket?
I'm almost certain it is, yes.
What? Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. And Stanley was happy.
I've never been happier. Oh, look at that guy! Hey there, guys. Welcome back to the Command Center, and today we're going to be doing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe Edition, or more importantly, a bucket full of the new content from the Ultra Deluxe Edition. Wink. It's going to make more sense later. Stay tuned.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
Yes.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Oh.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Based on what I'm familiar with, this seems like a trap.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Looks like it's made out of plywood.
Initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Mostly tedious. It's as if oh, okay. Let's see the content. Gimme the content, Stanley.
The jump circle.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle?
You mean for that thing that I can't do? Whoa! Oh, I can jump! 30 times. And only inside the circle. Gotta really enjoy this last one. Yes. And as the circle promised, no more jumps. It's over. Let's see what else there is.
Is that it? Sure,
right?
That's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Oh, here's another elevator. All right. I'm game.
Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
All right, I love this guy.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable.
Yeah, do it.
It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
It doesn't seem like I have a choice, but big promises were made. That's not where I left that coffee cup. Everything's different. Let me rephrase that. Oh, wow. Oh, man, everything's different. Oh, hey, there's that coffee cup. That's better, right? That's the order I should have said that in the first place. Hey, look, yeah, that's what it's supposed to look like outside the office. They put a painting there so that we would know that we're not crazy.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Okay. Guess I'm gonna fall and die again. Yep, dead. Oh no, I'm still alive.
Okay, you
Neat.
remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it.
Ooh.
Just our little secret. Take a look.
Okay, now that's expansion. A hidden temple. Yeah. Yeah.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Oh, I remember that telephone. I was gonna make a phone call on that, but then I didn't. You got mad. Oh, good times.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something.
Huh, neat. It's a lot of merch. I don't remember there being this much merch for the Stanley Parable. The original Go Outside, I believe right now, Go Outside does not go outside and don't play for 5 years. I think it's 10 years on the deluxe edition. I don't know that there's a version of that achievement on this one. I literally don't know. Cool piano. Okay, this is a nice touch. Neat.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore.
No, we can rebuild it. We can make it better. I mean, you made all this, right? Let's put our heads together, make a game. Yeah, right there, see? We will rebuild it. Let's begin again. That was your guys' thing, right? Let's do it.
But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the Memory Zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
If they're anything like the Steam reviews that I usually read, they're about 50-50, and a lot of them are really mean. Don't get me wrong, love Steam, love Valve. Reviews on Steam are like reviews anywhere else. They're rough.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining.
I liked it.
Funny? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Hey, you don't listen to him, man. You're funny. And insightful. You don't need him, man. Let's go to Applebee's. We'll hang out.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I?
No, not at all.
Tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. These black marks are my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button?
Oof.
Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. Go ahead and give it a shot. Oh, you're back, you see? You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations.
It
All
sounds
right,
insane,
here
but
we
I
go.
love it. Let's do it.
Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Manifesto.
I kind of like them
Treatise,
both.
Manifesto.
Again, genuinely
Treatise,
curious, not
manifesto.
skipping ahead.
Treatise, manifesto.
Because that's what they want. They want me to hit the button, and I'm not going to do it.
Treatise, manifesto.
I might fast forward through it on the video for you guys.
Manifesto. Treatise, manifesto.
Seventh inning stretch.
Treatise, manifesto. Treatise.
Okay, so it's all in the wrist.
Treatise,
You just
manifesto.
kinda, you have to
Treatise.
get a good
manifesto.
grip. You kind of have to bite your thumb back
Treatise,
behind it, and you kinda just have to do a
manifesto.
little pop.
Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto.
You guys ever wonder why we're here?
Manifesto. Treatise.
In fact,
Manifesto.
I think it was the first physical
Treatise,
video game I ever
manifesto.
got.
Manifesto.
No, these squishmallows are mine
Treatise,
now. You can't have them.
manifesto.
Alright, I hope you guys were listening
Treatise,
carefully because that
manifesto.
concludes the
Treatise,
list of my favorite bad
manifesto.
words, my
Treatise.
memoirs,
manifesto.
favorite cheat codes for
Treatise,
Street Fighter.
Manifesto. Manifesto. Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But
Yeah, I
that's
sure
the
did.
problem. The minute I start to go, oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about changing
Yeah,
some of the
that's right,
rules
Cookie
there.
9. You can
To be
stick
honest,
it.
I don't fortune, a privilege, a joy to have to read it again. It's simply too wonderful.
No,
I have to... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes. You're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking and thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Why did Cookie... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again.
Yeah.
Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak
I'm
with.
so
And
hungry.
you think that that's just how it's... I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being.
Push it.
Like an eternity. For what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation.
Just gonna push it again.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. Have we been given
Yep,
to
and now I've
indulge
been
in
standing
every
here listening
fleeting
to you
whim for
angry about
no
it for like
reason
12
other than
years,
to do
and I
so?
haven't peed,
Yes.
and my soda's been
Yes.
warm for
It
about
seems that this is now the world we live
11
in.
years,
It seems that we are a people living in
365
such
and a half
bleakness
days.
and discomfort with ourselves that our
Probably shouldn't be
entertainment is
drinking
now
that
our
anymore.
lives. Because of this.
See, look, it's getting better already. There's a fern. What happened to the tree? And my fern? Me outside? Outside. Sunlight. Don't know why caveman now. New content. Whoa. Well, I gotta get some of that.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign.
I did.
I have something very exciting to show you. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever the Stanley Parable 2.
Yeah! Excellent! That's what I wanted.
It's just so much catchier than ultra deluxe, don't you think? Ultra deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation
2 water
and
coolers.
long-term franchising potential.
We can make it if we try. Just the 2 of us. Just the 2 of us. Just the 2 of us. Building castles in the sky. Just the 2 of us. You and I. That's some good spoken word, non-copyrighted music. Just the 2 of us.
Bring up around
Who took
them.
the red marker?
It'll
It
all
was
work
me.
itself out. Game development is...
Ah,
Here
that's
we
so
are.
big.
Go on, try out some of the new features.
It'll be just like Fallout 4, where Codsworth says your name at the beginning.
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified.
Oh.
Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll
My
love
real
it.
name is Jimmy,
Okay,
so
here we go.
that won't
Let's
be
take
hard.
A deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Nope.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim.
2.
I'm putting the Jim button away. Otherwise,
Two.
soon
No.
you'll start to lose all sense
no.
of who
Yes.
you actually
Yes.
are.
Yes. I got 3 more clicks in. Ooh, ooh. Don't have the Jim button anymore. Everything else is gonna suck. Hear your name today. Can't hear my name. They took the buttons. This right here. This is the thing. This is the thing that's gonna be my superhero. No, super villain origin story. I had a button that said my name, and it validated my existence and made me feel good about who I was, and then they took it away. And then I infected myself with radioactive powers and started to...
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim
Burn
to
all
play
the
the Stanley
oxygen.
Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Some other people might not be happy.
Which would you go with?
Get well someday or happy... You know what? Step-niece. Happy 12th birthday,
You know,
step-niece.
sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along.
That
Get
one?
well someday it is.
You dick. Oh my god. See, guys, the baby is fine. He grew up.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say
Indeed.
that after much
Most
consideration,
indeedly.
I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket.
Go
You
on.
see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
I do feel taller
The
and more
benefits of the
handsome and
bucket
more
seem to go on and
charismatic.
on, don't they?
Yeah, I guess let's jump back in.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
They got the balloons.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up. Why was he not doing it? Stanley picked up the bucket. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Or maybe broom closet. Broom closet!
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it?
Now with
The
bucket.
broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now.
No, I'm not going to give in.
This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional
I
landscape
have a
of your
whole
feelings
journal.
for the
An
bucket
entire
as they have
journal.
changed
Top to
and
bottom.
evolved over the
150
years.
pages.
Let him have it.
Me and this bucket went to college together. He introduced me to my fiancée, and you have the audacity to come in here
I've got
and
you something
bristle
which
your
I
little
think
butt
will
over
help
here
settle this
and
debate
tell...
once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
You got off lucky this time, broom.
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see? I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket.
It does.
That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker. Bucket, but now, the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment, and to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Yeah, me and my best friend, Bucket. Let's go, Bucket. We're not wanted here. You disgust me.
Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground.
I'm freaking out.
Gracious. he exclaimed. "Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it."
This bucket
Far
was
off
the
in
only thing
distance
holding
now,
me to
he
the
heard
earth.
calling. He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next.
God.
None of them were
None of
his.
them are-
None
these
of them
aren't
were
my
his
buckets.
special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find
No,
me.
no.
He had to find the
No,
bucket.
no,
He had to return to his old
no.
friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work.
Must be nice.
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion
I want
and
my
it's all just
bucket.
a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
I should, but I also want to show the bucket the break room. He's never seen
This
it.
was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was.
Yeah,
Had
look
the
at
bucket
this.
turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes,
Yeah.
Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly
100%.
was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Thanks, Bucket. You know, I used to have a dog ghost that followed me around for a while. That was fun, but you're pretty cool.
Truly, being here with the bucket was a grand adventure. Stanley reflected on
Catch
all
me,
they'd
Bucket,
been through
catch
together.
me.
First, walking through the door on the right, then walking to the lounge, then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired. But finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Okay, Bucket. I shall obey.
Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked. No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket?
What?
I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game
No.
if not addressed quickly and properly.
Huh?
So much
No.
of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket.
Good.
Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
I'm ready, sir.
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Yes, final answer. Bucket.
Incorrect. It is a
What?
hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Oh, no. Yeah, another one. I can do this. I
Item
can do this.
2. Is this a bucket?
No, it's a can with a handle.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
That's amateur hour.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
Nope, that's Pikachu.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
What? What? I need to consult my Pokédex. Hold on a second.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
I'm almost certain it is, yes.
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one.
I thought it was a trick question. I like tractors.
Is this a bucket?
Okay, it wasn't a trick question before, so it has to be a trick question now. Yes, this one is a bucket.
Correct. This is a bucket.
Thank you. Genius over here.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
This one is 100% a bucket.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
What? I need context.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Yes, final answer.
Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something, and therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
I believe that a bucket with nothing in it holds air. Therefore, the earth is a bucket. Therefore, there is a bucket on the stage. Final answer. Wait. What was the question? Is nothing a bucket? No. No, yes, no. Everything's a bucket. Nothing's a bucket. B, final answer.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Told you, everything is a bucket.
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with.
You are a bucket. Final
I'm afraid
answer.
the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay.
No.
Here we go.
Don't do it. That's irrational.
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything
Because
a bucket?
everything is a bucket.
Every single thing in the game was a bucket.
I told you.
Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all.
Huh.
And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay?
Okay.
And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
So just so we're clear, I was right all along. Everything is a bucket except for people. People are not buckets. No going back, huh?
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
No.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
The bucket will protect me.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? Farewell, Stanley.
Hold on.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently to death.
No. Bucket, no! Bucket? Did you spring into action and save us? Or did I do it? Did my
It was a
cat-like
shame,
reflexes kick
the
in?
death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
Oh god, no! Sorry guys, I needed a moment of silence. That was beautiful.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Truly, that bucket was as a god. It's holding the water with the angels now. Oh, hey, it's a Da Vinci bucket. Yeah, I need to get a stress bucket. Wow, it's hard to believe that we evolved from ancient buckets.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more always out of reach. This distance, inevitable. Blah. This distance, inevitably, is for our own good. Nope. I can get it. The bucket will always protect me.
There is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong.
Yes.
Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket
what?
shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision for...
What?
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
What? This bird. Oh, that is silly.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned
It's
on
a
him.
ducky.
This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world.
Flamingos.
The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable.
It's like
Of all
Tic
the
Tac, but
possible paths
huge.
his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
I've never been happier. Oh, look at that guy! Well, guys, I'm gonna say that that's probably it for the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe Edition. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I enjoyed playing it. I tried to cram a bunch of it in there so the video might not be as short as I'd like it to be. Hopefully you guys will still enjoy it. I'll probably spend a lot of time tomorrow editing it. Frankly, it took me about 4 hours to shoot all of this. But again, I've always wanted to play the Stanley Parable, and I enjoyed a lot of the new stuff that they jammed into it. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys like it. I hope you subscribe, and I hope you join me again next time for another episode of The Command Center. Take care. Have a great night. Goodbye, guys.